Good evening, all. Excuse me. How's everybody doing this evening? Or this morning, really. Right, just bear with me while I clean my glasses. I've just come in from the garage, and my glasses are rather dusty. I hope everybody's enjoying their holidays. Ooh, we've got 20 people on already. Jin 8612. I was writing Xbox documents. Welcome, Wolf Valley Boy. Hi, Somon. Pipes, etc. Tim Gordon, Tim Cole, Preacherman Piper, Robert Dawson, Paul the Piper, Pipes, etc. Good. So, how's everybody doing? I've yet to have a smoke today. That's alright, Tim, just taking a mickey. Let me just have a swig of the old brown nectar. Oh, that's good. Well, back home, as you can see, and I haven't even unpacked my bag. I took this with me. This is I forget the name of this one. I got this at the Israti Cell. Really nice soft leather 6-pipe bag. I tell a lie, 5-pipe bag. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. So, I must tell you, this particular pipe here, this was a bit of a fail, this pipe, if you recall when I made this pipe. It's actually turned out to be a fantastic smoker. Smokes very, very well. Really does. The last thing, I've bashed it around a bit here, I can see, but the last thing I smoked in it, I just didn't want it to finish. It was that good. Just a shame that I messed that up. So that's that one. That's obviously the LCS Rhodesian. Lumber coal. And that's the Radice from Mike at Briar Blues. That's the LCS brandy, I guess, the one that I reworked recently. Also smokes very, very well. Very, very comfortable. Button on that one smokes well. And this is a Boswell bent apple, which I pretty much only smoke Northwoods in. So I haven't even had the chance to unpack this lot. So, thanks, Paul. Yeah, good evening, Bona. How you doing? So I have been smoking my pipes a lot. I would say that I'm probably smoking my own pipes at least 50% of the time. I would say. Hi, Joe. How you doing? Morning, Pipe Puffer UK. Hector is in the house. Hi, Hector. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're well. Hope you're having an enjoyable holiday. So the first thing, the record I want to set straight is, if you recall, the one in the dish, that's also one of mine, which I've smoked quite a lot as well. It's seen some good use. Smokes very, very well. It's comfortable to smoke. Yeah, I've got to say, don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I've really been enjoying smoking my own pipes. And this one, I'm still in the middle of a bowl of 40th anniversary, the Stanwell. I started that on Friday, but I haven't finished the bowl. So I want to set the record straight on this diamond shank. I couldn't understand during the live when I showed it last Saturday. Well, I don't know if it was Saturday or not. I think it was Saturday. And people were sort of humming and hawing about it being a bulldog, and I just was being blind. Of course it's not a bulldog, and I didn't understand what people were saying because, I don't know, it just in my mind I was making a bulldog, so it was a bulldog, and I completely missed the fact that the shape isn't there. Yes, it's got a diamond shank, but that's about it. So in reality I'm calling this a diamond shanked pot, which I think is a more accurate, you might even call it a hybrid between a pot and a Dublin, but it's certainly not a bulldog because it hasn't got the angled rim, obviously. So that's where I went wrong, and I completely forgot about that. So certainly this is not a bulldog, but it certainly, as I say, it was my first effort at a diamond shank. Hi Josh, Pipe Grump is in the house, and I can actually safely say that this stem I literally cut from scratch because I had to completely reshape the stem, including the bit. So that's completely made from scratch, this pipe, pretty much. Yeah, Hector, I don't know what I was on at the time, really. I didn't understand what people were saying, why people were dissing my description of it as a, I don't know, I had a bit of a brain freeze moment, and I was completely focused on the shank. And also this sort of bit here as well, which is bulldoggy, kind of, the butt cheeks as you call them, but I just completely missed the fact that it didn't have that pitched rim, and my bad, as they say. As I say, I had one of those moments, but certainly diamond shank pot I think is more accurate description, and that's what it is. It rose by another name, Chad. Hi Chad, how you doing? And I'm pleased to say that it's actually sold. I sold it at a very cheap price to one of my regular purchasers, and I'm delighted that it's sold and finding a home. It's very comfortable to clench. It'll smoke fantastically. I mean, the drill is absolutely perfect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it in terms of its smokability. It's got nice grain. It's very, very well sanded to really smooth finish. Nice rim. That'll be great. Jen, no, this is not a billiard. This shape. This is, as I've been saying, a pot kind of shape. No, this is the only one that I've done recently, and I'm in the middle of another pipe, which I'll show you in a minute. But this one is probably going to go to Wildcat Sam, assuming he's going to be happy with it. I'll show that to you now, in fact. This is he wants something with blue and white in it, and this is as closest that I could get. Once this is polished up, it will be very blue and white. So this one originally was going to be a rusticated, a Sea-Rock rustication with a smooth rim and the smooth part here, but it's actually revealing some really, really nice grain. Really nice sort of, look at that, you can see the grain there. So you can see that grain there licking up the sides, and on the other side as well. So I'm kind of hesitating. North Country Fisher, how you doing? So I'm kind of hesitating in terms of rusticating it. I mean, I've sanded this to a really high grit, to 800 grit so far. I've got to just sand out that scratch which happened afterwards. But that would look really nice as a contrast. I was going to kind of stain that either brown or black, because I think the blue will pop very nicely with black. But I'm really just in two minds because of this grain. I do want to rusticate some of it. I just like that balance of rustication. I'm just not sure. So far I've not done any sort of half bowl rustications. Bowl, the last pipe that I did, in fact I've still got it. One of the last pipes, which hasn't gone out yet because the customer's away. find it now. So this one here was the one I did like a mixed rustication, and the bowl on this one again is also sanded to a really high smooth finish. Really came out fantastically well, and this sold very quickly. So this works well. I think the rustication on this turned out fantastic, but I was kind of thinking of doing the reverse on this one and making the bowl rusticated and leaving this smooth. But it just seems a bit of a shame. There are a few little black spots, nothing crazy, there's a few little black spots. They may become a bit larger once the pipe is smoked, it's difficult to say. What do you guys think? You think I should leave it smooth or do a part rustication? Rusticate the bowl and leave the shank smooth, leave all that grain to show, or do the opposite maybe? Leave the bowl smooth, rusticate the shank. What I find is that when I rusticate the bowl and leave the rim smooth, it just works really well. It pops, and that's kind of the interesting thing is that even though it's got a nice grain, I find sometimes that a bit of rustication really sets off the grain, and sometimes a pipe looks better. See, I personally think this pipe looks better with that bit of rustication. I actually didn't have to rusticate this. The bowl was, the shank was pretty good. There may have been one spot or something on there, but there was nothing there which forced me to rusticate it. But I think it actually improves the pipe. I think it works. It just creates the balance of the pipe. That's LCS 75. This one is 76, and this one is for Wildcat 77. Wildcat Sam 77. He's booked this number 77 already a long time ago. Regardless of what it came out, he just wanted pipe number 77. So hopefully he wanted it to have some blue and white accents. So I hope he's going to be happy with that, because I haven't got anything else really to show off blue and white. Josh. I actually sent Sam an email earlier on. I don't think he's responded yet. That's a fair point, actually. But I didn't ask him that question about... the main question I asked him was about the blue and white, because he wanted it to have some blue and white in it. Hi Eric, but I didn't think to ask him about that question, because the reality is I was hoping to finish it tonight, so the question would have been moot, but I haven't had the chance to finish it, and now obviously we're live, so I'll only finish this tomorrow probably, so hopefully he will get back in touch. Maybe he'll still get on. Hi Jordan, how you doing? Jordan's got his a video up of him breaking in the Radice pipe of the year from Mike at Briar Blues. Really, really nice pipe. I need to learn how to do that sort of staining on a non-smooth pipe. So they do it with that particular pipe is a sandblast, but it can be done on a rusticated pipe as well. So I kind of would like to know how to learn how to do that as well. This pipe is still available if anybody wants it. Really gorgeous lines this pipe has got. Really like it. Very comfortable bit. So this is what I mean about having a smooth rim with a rusticated bowl. I just think it pops. So you've got a smooth shank. This is kind of what I wanted to do here on this one. Same idea, but the grain is just too good. So what I was going to do is rusticate the bowl and then do a bit more of a higher contrast, like an orangey brown kind of stain with the black background. I'm still not sure myself. The price of this one, drop me an email if you're really interested, and I'll work something out with you. My email address, in case you don't know it, is there. So Paul the Piper, if you're interested, just get in touch and then we'll work something out. Because this pipe is not 100% perfect, which I'll happily explain. You can see that drill is not entirely central. But other than that, its drilling is absolutely fine, and it will smoke very, very well. It's a 9mm pipe. It's the first pipe that I've used a ring on. It's actually it's actually 3 rings glued together. So truth be told, the shank on this one could have been rusticated. It's got a few little sort of sand pits and things like that. Nothing drastic, but I'm my biggest critic. But there you go. So that's that one. Yeah, no problem, Paul. Whenever you want. No rush. So I've still got to break in my pipe of the year from Mike. It's still my 55, still unsmoked. That's that one there. And you can see Briar Blues 2019 Radice. Nice rustication. See, the interesting thing is that I'm sort of so self-critical when I make pipes. I'm really not happy when this kind of thing is not completely circular, it's not completely equal. But I see a company like Radice making it, and they haven't got it spot on either, So it kind of gives me a little bit of sort of sucker, that a bit of comfort to see they can get away with it because they're Radice, and nobody's going to sort of pull them up on it in any kind of big way. I guess it's really only on the high graders that you can really, if you're going to pay like £1,000 for a pipe, it has to be spot on in all aspects. One of the biggest sort of rule breakers that I think of was I think Castello, who are one of the most famous brands out there and loved by many people. Their shapes, they just break all the rules all the time, and to me some of them actually look quite awkward, but as I say, they get away with it because they're Castello, and people just assume that it's intentional, and that's it. That's one of the mugs that Art sent me. Believe it or not, he actually sent me 4 mugs. Remember this cup? I miss it. When this cup broke, it kind of set me on a constant search for the right mug. My wife is doing her nut because the cupboard downstairs in the kitchen is full of different mugs. Yeah, Jordan, I think you have to be self-critical, because if you're not, then you're never going to evolve. Even if we're overcritical, it's not the end of the world, because it helps us evolve. So I got my Briar Blues came in the post, challenge number 11, and this is a Virginia. And today I got a parcel from Cuppa Joe's with a bunch of magazines, which I've been kind of had them in my basket many times, but not actually pulled the trigger. And this time, before I went away, I pulled the trigger, and I figured soon after I come back they'll be here. So I bought eight magazines, which I'm going to enjoy reading over the next few weeks. And I also, and thankfully they came through okay, no delays on the way through customs. And I also bought a bag of this is I think this is Sutliff Virginia Slices, is it called? It's called 507C. What is it? 6 ounces. I just like the sound of it, and I thought I'd give it a try. Good question, pipes, etc. I have yet to smoke a pipe today. So I could smoke some of this, or I could have a crack at Mike's. Maybe I'll give Mike's a first try. Usually what I do with Mike's tobaccos is I usually pack it and I record as I pack it the first time. So I do my first, the same way as I do my first impressions. But maybe this time I'll do it a little bit more clinically, like the others do it, and smoke it in different pipes and sort of make it a little bit more of a meal over it. It's just not the way I tend to do it, but looking at it, I could quite easily say this was something like McBaron's Virginia, Pure Virginia. But I don't have a huge amount of experience in terms of a wide range of tobaccos. So to see a tobacco and say, right, that's what it is, I can't really do that. But I can talk about what it tastes like, that's for sure. Drew Estate meat pie. I see, Josh, you've been watching Star Wars. I haven't really gotten hooked on... hi, Paul. Paul the Scandinavian. Ooh, a guest. Don't usually get to see Paul live. I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I wouldn't know what you're talking about, to be honest. I've probably watched 1 or 2 of them, in the past, but not in any kind of dedicated fanboy kind of way. Right, any preferences on a pipe I should smoke it in? Oh, I should break in the new pipe. Hey, the man himself. Hi, Mike. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying your holidays. Have you smoked the pipe that I sent you, Mike, recently? Besides for that first time? And Mike, Gamecock Piper, is in the house. How you doing, Paul? It's getting late over there. Yeah, fair enough. I'm very well, thank you, Mike. Just came back off our brief holiday out down at the coast. I did take a couple of clips here and there. Oh, Maui's in as well. How you doing, Maui? I did manage to pop into the pipe shop, a very aptly named shop, being called The Pipe Shop, down in Christchurch Road in Southbourne, which was actually just 2-3 minutes away from where I was staying. Popped in there twice. The first time I didn't take any video at all. It was too busy. It was, I think it was Christmas Eve. The shop was open, but it was just too busy. Then the second time, just on the morning of our return, Friday morning, early, I went in about 9 o'clock. Wasn't so busy, had a chat with the lady who was behind the till. She's a co-owner with her husband, but her husband wasn't there. Started having a chat, and then I asked her if she would mind if I videoed it, and she said, yeah, that's fine, but I didn't really think that she wanted to be in it. So I didn't record her, but it was an interesting chat, and I'll put it up at some point. So let's put this one away before it gets damaged, because that actually belongs to somebody now. In actual fact, so does this one. So I'll put that in the same bag because it belongs to the same person. The person that bought this is actually a very dedicated customer. I think they must be on about 8 or 9 pipes already of mine. And I've got to say, that's a wonderful feeling for somebody to return as a customer. Really is nice. And Maui's got one of my pipes as well, and he's enjoying that. Thank you, Maui, I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm thinking I'll actually smoke it in the Northern Briars, because I tend to use that for testing out tobaccos, and seeing as Mike, this is challenge number 11. I'm having my first smoke of it in tonight live, so actually I need to leave it out a bit longer. It feels a bit damp. I was saying that before, Mike, if you were listening. I don't know if you were listening or not, but it's really difficult to on site to identify tobacco. But if I had to straight away, I just said it looked a little bit to me like Mac Baren's Pure Virginia, but I really couldn't say for sure. But I'm going to approach this one a little bit more like some of the others have done and smoke it a few times rather than give my opinion after one smoke. So I'm going to smoke it live, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll smoke it again and record the second time. Hi Mohammed, how are you doing? Speed trap on the way to Mac Baren. The tobacco in the tin. This one, I smoked this I think last week on London Calling. This is Former's Straight Grain Flake. Actually quite a tasty tobacco. Has quite a kick to it. If I remember correctly, it had quite a strong kick to it. Hey, Mike, could be that, couldn't it? Anything's possible with Mike. But I'm going to take a guess and say it's not that. That's a bit wider. But it could be. It could be. You never know. Thank you, Mohammed. This is actually not available in England. I actually got this from America, of all places. It's made in Germany, but I bought it from Boswell's. Just going to give it a little bit longer, and we'll pop it in the pipe. I don't know if you heard Mike before. I was just setting the record straight when it came to that pipe that I made with a diamond shank, and we've renamed it as a diamond shanked pot. I don't know why, but for some reason I had it in my mind that it was a bulldog last week, because in my mind I was making a bulldog, without just cottoning on to the fact that the rim was not a bulldog rim and it wasn't pitched as it should have been. But yeah, setting the record straight, that certainly not a bulldog. Oh, very nice. What shape did you order, Paul? Oh, I see. You sent him one of your pipes. I think you mentioned that. You sent him one of your pipes for a new stem, did you? It's not really bulldog shanked. It's diamond shanked. But in my mind, I had set out to make a bulldog, and I just had a bit of a blank. My brain kind of just diverted away from the fact that it didn't have a pitched rim. It didn't have a slanted rim to make it a bulldog. So it's not even a pit bull. Get it? Very good, Chad. Very good. So it's got a diamond shank for sure, but it's really it's not even a pot. It's really a diamond shanked stumpy Dublin, if you want to be really honest, because it's got quite a slant there. But if it would have carried on higher, it might have just been a billiard with a diamond shanked billiard. But you could just call it a diamond shanked hybrid between a pot and a Dublin, I think. "27 Lotha Street. Never heard of it. We have been bringing out a few new blends, some of them being the ones that we tested at the Nottingham Pipe Show. Speaking of the Nottingham Pipe Show, I'm kind of humming and hawing whether to book a table myself and try and build up a bit of an inventory to take with me. At the moment I've got probably 6 or 7 or 8 pipes which I could sell. There's still a fair few pipes which I haven't sold yet. Some of them really nice. All right. It still feels a bit damp, but I've waited long enough to stick a lit pipe in my mouth. It's been about 30 odd hours since I've had a pipe. So we have the Northern Briars Quebec extractor on. Mike, I don't remember. Did you say it was a straight Virginia, or it was a Virginia-based blend? If it was a straight Virginia, I suppose there wouldn't be much of a contest, would there? Because I've got to say, it tastes like it's got some kind of topping on there. And at the moment, I would say it's not a million miles away from Erinmore flake. Good lad, Josh. Have a good time with Big Sis or Little Sis. I'm thinking this might be some old Erinmore. Whatever it is, it tastes fantastic, I have to say. All the best, Josh. Hey Meeks, I assume you're talking about the Stanwell as opposed to Stanley. This one here, are you talking about this one? It's still available. All the best, Paul. Thanks very much for joining. Really appreciate it. It's good to speak to you. And I hope you're convalescing well. This is lovely stuff. The only thing which is kind of holding me back from saying Erinmore flake is that it's not absolutely exactly the same flavour, but it's really similar. It's kind of a cross between Erinmore and OGS. It's got that citrusy, fruity flavour. Excuse me. I can't quite decide if it's Erinmore or not. Wherever it is, it's in that ballpark. Good night, Jen. The thing is that OGS doesn't look like this. OGS is, it really, well, unless Mike's been devious and cut it and it's not the original form. Who knows? But usually OGS doesn't come looking like this. Erinmore with nightcap, now there's an interesting idea. Very interesting idea. I'm trying to, in my head, get my head around the flavour what it might be. What was that, Meeks? I don't remember what message that was, but if it was okay what I did, then cool. Happy to have been of assistance. All original as I see it. Okay, right, let me just grab some flake. See if I've got some Erinmore flake around here somewhere. Just bear with me while I grab some Erinmore flake. I've got to be honest, I'm going to have to start stocking up on the Erinmore flake, because John Walker sent me a bunch of tins. Some were mixture and some were flake, and since he sent me that flake, I've really been enjoying the flake more than the mixture. And when I first sort of discovered Erinmore, I was enjoying the mixture more than the flake. So even as I'm smoking, I'm thinking maybe Danish Pipe Shop Vintage Flake, also very similar, but it doesn't present like this. Well, see, that's the Vintage Flake, and it's much more flaky, like stringy. It falls apart. It looks really similar, but it just doesn't hold together like that flake does. This really holds together well as a flake. It is quite thin. They are quite thin flakes, and we did talk about some thin flakes recently, but I don't remember which tobacco it was. I'm just thinking whether I should crack this tin just for the sake of this experiment. I think before I do that, I'll smoke some. I do have some somewhere. I don't know how old this one is because John sent me this bag as well. It's certainly darker. The only thing I could say is possibly if it is a little bit aged, maybe the flavour has subdued somewhat, making it feel a little bit less like Erinmore, but maybe it is actually Erinmore, but I think Erinmore is more distinct, more of a fruity, like a fruity gum kind of flavour. And this one is somewhere in between. I'd be really surprised if it was a straight Virginia. If it was a straight Virginia and getting those kind of flavours. Tinned in 2019. Wow. I think this is $4.19. Alright, let's crack the tin. I'm probably wasting, I'm not wasting, I'll smoke it, but it's not Errimore. Errimore's got a much more distinct aroma, I have to say. You can smell it straight off in the tin. And it could be it's lost a bit of its aroma. I'm gonna say it's not Errimore. This does smell great, I must say. But I'm gonna smoke. If I finish this bowl before I go off tonight, I'll light up a bowl of that. Well, if it is a Navy flake, that will actually be very encouraging, because I've so far not appreciated Navy flakes, and I've just kind of, for me, they've been a bit of a miss, because I just haven't got my head around what the purpose of it is. The Navy flakes that I've had have always tasted like Virginias for the most part, and I tried, for instance, the McClelland Navy Cavendish, a very nice tobacco, but it tastes like McClelland Virginias. I couldn't get the rum at all, and I've smoked other Navy flakes in the past and really didn't get them. I think I do have some Condor somewhere. Let's see if I can find that. Look at the state of this. Look at all these baggies here. A whole container full of them. God knows when I'll ever smoke them. I think a lot of us have this problem. Getting baggies from people and they just don't get smoked. I know I've got some Condor somewhere. Actually, I bought some from the B&M that I went to. So I've got some Condor long cut here. This is a small 25 gram bag. So I'm going to open one of those. Yes, they certainly did seem to be navy-based seafaring. No, that actually looks really dark. If I'm not mistaken, Condor has a little bit of lakeland in it. Am I right? I've got to say, this looks really, really dark. Doesn't look like the same tobacco, does it? Imperato, does Condor have a lakeland in there? It certainly has an aroma of some lakelands. Well, I've got to be honest, it doesn't taste like a lakeland, even a light lakeland. No, I'm not getting a heavy hit. Bit of licorice as well, okay. Oh, dear me. Like I said, if it is a Navy flake, I'm actually pleasantly surprised. No, I don't think this is full Virginia flake. I would recognise it if it was. At least I think I would. The thing is with any of these things is that sometimes you can get batches which will taste slightly different, although the full Virginia flakes that I've smoked so far have all been very, very similar. Let's have a look at some full Virginia flake. This is from January 18, so we're looking at 2 years old. Longer flakes, slightly darker, although the age might have something to do with it. These are glistening with sugar. I don't know if you can see that. It smells a lot earthier. In actual fact, there's hardly any aroma on this, on the Challenge 11. I think I'm reasonably secure in saying that it's not Erinmore. I don't know about Peterson University flake. I don't think I've ever smoked it. Yeah, so originally I thought Orlik Golden Sliced, but Mike says that it's, although, if it came from a 50 grand tin, it's a possibility. Well, Mike says that he knows that I've smoked it, and I haven't smoked Peterson University Flake. This is Orlik golden sliced. Now I don't know if it came out like that or if I've already sort of semi-pulled it apart, but to me it doesn't look like Orlik golden sliced. I think that a Navy Flake is a good shout, but I'm not experienced with Navy Flakes, as I said, because I didn't really get them. I haven't really smoked them that much. It's not Bob's Flake. To me, I am detecting a bit of a topping, yes. Captain Black Grape. No, definitely not Bourbon Flake. The topping is definitely less at the moment. No, it's not St James's Flake. I don't think this is a vapour. I'd be surprised if this was a vapour. Flavour profile wise, I could go with OGS, I could go with Orlik Golden Sliced, I could go with some, well no, it's not Erinmore. I really don't think it's Erinmore. Hector, it's definitely not 40th, that's for sure. Just looking at it, you know it's not 40th. I'm not getting any honey. Doesn't mean there isn't any in there, but I'm not getting honey. I'm just getting a really mild, sweet, slightly fruity, citrusy flavour, which to me, if somebody was to describe that to me without me tasting it, I would automatically think of OGS, without a doubt. I mean, that's what OGS is. Straight Virginia. Alright, let's have a look at it, see what it says about Orlik Golden Sliced. Well, Orlik Golden Sliced is listed as a vapour, so that's that out. Let's have a look at Vintage Flake. Well, Vintage Flake is listed as a straight Virginia, and I've often said that Vintage Flake, I've often sort of compared it to OGS, so I guess it could be that. Presentation didn't really. Let me have another look. Peter Stokerby Flake. Well, the only Peter Stokkebye's that I've smoked are Luxury Bullseye Flake, which this isn't obviously. I've smoked the Luxury Twist, but I don't think I've smoked the Navy. And Mike says I've smoked this blend before. It looks really similar. It looks almost identical. Just the way it breaks apart. This is a lot looser. The Vintage Flake is a lot looser. This is very wet. The Vintage Flake is dry. It's not to say that the sample that Mike got is maybe wetter and more tightly put together. Mike always throws a curveball. That's what makes these challenges so interesting and challenging. What really has thrown me is the fact that it's a straight Virginia, and it's listed as a straight Virginia. Because when I first lit it, it really felt like I had a topping on it. And the truth be told, the fact that it's listed as a straight Virginia doesn't necessarily mean that it's got nothing added. So I'm still. Let me have a look at Pure Virginia Macbaron, is what it says about that. So Macbaron is listed as a straight Virginia. Well, it says that it's got absolutely no topping because it's an HH, which is a pure tobacco, but it has only the absolutely necessary casing in order to emphasize the natural tobacco taste. Now, casing generally means, in my experience, although Mike will probably be able to say better, it's usually a sugared water or something like that to enhance the sweetness of the Virginia. But that's about it. Well, yes, I am thrown. This does not taste like Dunhill Flake to me. If it is, I'll be gobsmacked. And what's actually throwing me quite a bit is that it's so good, and it's a fresh tin. Mike says it was tinned in 2019, so the most it's going to have on it is a year. And it really doesn't taste like that. It tastes like a Virginia which has been sitting for a couple of years at least, but maybe even more, maybe 3 or 4 years. When you look at it, the presentation does look fresh. It doesn't look sort of dark and chocolatey, sort of chocolate kind of brownie kind of look to it. It's still quite bright and quite brown. I don't know. It doesn't have such a distinct flavour anymore. I'm coming towards the end of the bowl now. Gold block flake. Mike, let me ask you a question. Obviously you'll decide if you're going to answer it or not. Have I smoked it sort of more than once? And have I smoked it fairly regularly? Or is it something that you've just seen me try? I smoked it this year. London fog, it ain't. Good question, Pipe Puffer. Definitely not 3 nuns, Paul. Definitely not. 3 nuns is little curlies anyway. Little coins. Well, it wouldn't be C&D because I don't think I've tasted any C&D flakes at all. And if he sent out C&D, ODP would have his neck. Well, I hope, is it Russ Roulette who does their blending? I hope he's not listening to this, Mike. I did say in my post earlier today, in my YouTube post, that I was thinking about doing a little giveaway. Hi, Naptown. and I was kind of racking my brain what to give away. Of course you're allowed your opinion, Mike. And the pipe that I've got here is a James J. Fox pipe, which I'll show you soon. And what I'm going to do is I'll show it here, but I'm going to do it in a separate giveaway video. But it's a lovely little pipe, and I'll show it to you very soon. And I'm going to ask you all to excuse me for a minute while I refill my copper. And then we can get back to it. Mike, while I'm out, if you want to tell everybody what it is, you can tell them, go ahead. I'm not here. I'm not going to be listening. Alright, and we're back. Please accept my apologies for that. Rather inexcusable. I should have really prepared my flask. So, apologies. Gone for a cup of tea this time. North Country for sure. Ooh, lots of comments whilst I was away. Let's have a quick look. Hi Robert Creel, how you doing? Carter Hall. Well, I've never smoked Carter Hall, so it's definitely not that. And it's not a flick. I see what you're saying, Eric. That is pressed and sliced it. Okay. Available worldwide. Well, it does seem to be pointing towards Mac Baren, I have to say. But I haven't. Mike says that I've smoked Pure Virginia. Well, Mike says I've smoked this blend this year, and I have smoked Pure Virginia, but not on its own. I've smoked it mixed with another tobacco. And I think I do have a tin of Pure Virginia. I just think it'd be a bit crazy to open another tin just for this experiment. Good evening, Naptown. Maui, if you're still there, have a great weekend, and see you in the next decade indeed. Tim, you're absolutely right, trying to guess a blend you're not smoking, fair enough. Good night, Tim, have a good happy new year too. It's not Pure Virginia, okay, thank you very much, I appreciate that, Mike. Ooh, you've really got me thinking now. Right, Dub. Thanks for your short visit. Alright, so I guess you all want to see that pipe. So I'll show you that before I sign off. It's a really nice pipe. This is really up Andrew Sirigliano's alley, but I wanted to give him one of my own pipes, so there we go. Night pipes, etc. A beautiful little I don't know what you'd call this, if you'd call this a Lovat. Probably not, it's probably a pot. Hey dude. Really nice sandblast. James J. Fox. This should smoke really well. I actually bought this pipe to convert to 9mm, but I have never gotten around to it, so I figure I'll give this one away. I could convert it, and I'm tempted to do it, but I'm going to give it away. This is going to be my New Year's giveaway. I suppose an appreciation for the YTPC and for all my followers and so on. This will be my little give back. So watch out for this video, that'll come soon, and I hope you guys will take part. Other than that, I hope you guys have all been having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season. And if you want to chat about anything else now, we can do that. Fire away if you've got anything that you want to talk about. Hi Daniel, how are you doing? What I'm doing now is just looking through my open jars to see if it's something that I can relate to. Trying to think which tobacco to try next to see if it's the same, but this is some Dunhill Flake. It really doesn't look the same, but who knows. Yeah, that's a good that's a good point, pipe puffer. I've got some Dunhill Flake here. I'll take some out. This has got 2 or 3 years age on it, and it's kind of a lot been squeezed in there, so the flakes have probably been a little bit decimated. But I've smoked enough of Dunhill Flake and it really didn't taste like Dunhill Flake to me. Dunhill Flake has got a much more middle of the road flavour, much more bready kind of depth to it, whereas this was much more aromatic. It was much more, I mean aromatic with a small a. It was much more aromatic, fruity, even if I can't identify it, I'm gonna say that it's in the arena of All It Golden Sliced, Vintage Flake from Danish Pipe Shop. The only thing is, no, I'm gonna have to say it's not Vintage Flake. I have to rule that out because Mike has already said that it's available worldwide. So that's gonna knock out any kind of boutique kind of blend. So it could be something like, hang on, I wonder if it's a Chariton blend. No, I'm not sure it's not St Bruno Flake. It could be St Bruno Flake. Again, another blend which I'm not that familiar with, and even though I might have tried it once, it certainly didn't taste like this. This really is a tasty tobacco. In fact, I might even just go for a second bowl straight off, and this time I think I'll smoke it in a meerschaum. Sheraton available worldwide? That's a good question, Robert. That is a good question. Okay, so John also says that it's not available worldwide. Yeah, St Bruno also looks a little bit like the Condor. It's much darker, isn't it? Much more of a chocolate brownie kind of look to it. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. It comes with a name, but the name is being withheld. You know, on a mobile phone you get those name withheld? That's what this is. Just to explain for those who sorry Robert, did I miss a comment of yours? So Mike at Briar Blues has been, hi Boca, thank you very much for your lovely comment, I appreciate that. Mike has been sending out various tobaccos to a group of people with a package of tobacco which is unnamed, and he's asked people to just smoke it and talk about the tobacco, what the blend contains, what it's made of. If you can identify it, great. If not, doesn't matter, but just talk about what it tastes like. And he wants to see the difference that people have across the selection of people that he's chosen, to see what their experiences are and how they differ or how they might compare. And in the past, Mike has really diversified in the blends. So for instance, there was one group of tobaccos which he sent us, which he said try it indoors, try it outdoors, and see the difference, which was really interesting to see the differences. Recently, Mike's been punishing us with Latakia after Latakia, and thankfully that has now stopped. But knowing Mike, he'll probably make that the next one. Please don't, Mike. So anyway, this is challenge number 11, and this is a Virginia, and we have to try and just see what it is. Well, see what it contains Virginia, obviously. I don't mind if he sends an aromatic, Daniel. I don't mind an aromatic from time to time. In fact, I smoke aromatics all the time, if I'm being honest. Technically, all Latakia blends are aromatics, the original aromatics. All Balkan blends are the original aromatics. But certainly Erinmore is an aromatic by anybody's standards. So what have I smoked this year? Mike, let me ask you another question. Again, your choice if you answer it or not. Have I smoked it on its own? Or have I smoked it mixed with another blend? I think that will narrow it down at least and give me a fighting chance. So out comes my only meerschaum that I possess these days, which is the club pipe from 2018. On its own in my car. That's a generous amount of information, thank you. This is a really good looking meerschaum. This is the Pipe Club of London. You can see the PCOL. It's starting to get a little bit of colour, but I don't smoke it enough to really get it coloured up. But it has got some colour there. And it really does smoke very well. I should really smoke it a lot more than I do. It's got a generous bowl. It's actually drilled very, very well as well. I should really wipe it out a little bit. There's a little bit of a cake building up in there, which is not good. An unsmoked Lars Iversen, yes please. No, it won't be a Boswell blend, Daniel. Good guess, because Mike is devious that way, but I've never smoked a Boswell flake. I'm not even sure if they do a flake. I doubt it. At least not their own. I doubt they've got the ability to make a flake. Matthew Streeter, ooh, that's a blast from the past. Spyderco indeed, my favourite knife. A knife I use all the time. This is a Spyderco UK PK. It's designed to be used in the UK. It hasn't got any locking mechanism. And it's a great knife. Use it all the time. I've got another great little knife for those knifers of you out there. If I can put my hands on it. This is a custom made knife which I had made probably about 3 years ago. Love this knife. I need to really sharpen it up a bit and get rid of some of this whatever that is on there, but again, a really, really nice knife, perfect for the UK. It's a small knife. Really nice grip. I'll be surprised if it's a Burley, seeing as it's a straight Virginia is how it's listed. If it's full Virginia flake, I would be really, really surprised. Celani Burley flake can't be. It's a Virginia flake. Mike has already told us that. Penzance is a flake. It's really a mottled. It's called a mottled flake. But in reality, the time you touch it, it falls apart. But that's a Latakia based blend anyway, so it's definitely not Penzance. I didn't make that pipe, Matthew. I commissioned it. I didn't make it. Kendall Cream. Hmm. It's not mixture 965, that's also a Latakia blend. This is a straight Virginia. HU, well, the only flake that I've smoked from HU is the Dock Worker, and this is not Dock Worker. It's not a straight Virginia Dock Worker anyway. Yeah, I didn't make the knife, it was a commission. Mike says that the blend is available worldwide. So you've got to think along the lines of Dunhill. I don't think it's Amphora Virginia. I'd be surprised if it was. Elizabethan, I think, is a ribbon or a shag. I don't think it's a flake. This is the tobacco, Daniel. So that's a flake. Not staying alight as well in this mission. I have to say that in the pipe that I smoked it in the Northern Briars, it stayed alight fantastically well. Okay, I let it dry a bit longer before I smoked it in that pipe. Thanks, Pipe Puffer. All the best to you too. Happy New Year. I've got to say that in the Meerschaum, it tastes quite different. It's not Squadron Leader. Squadron Leader is also a Latakia blend. Maybe, no, Mike says that it was made in 2019. The tin date is 2019. Once again, I'm getting that flavour again. It tasted different, but now it's starting to get back to that flavour that I had before. Let me grab that Dock Worker again. Actually, it's not available worldwide either, is it? HU Tobacco. But that might be a good shout, flavour-wise. But Dock Worker is not listed as a straight Virginia. My brain keeps going back to Orlik Golden Sliced, I have to say. I'm not getting any vanilla, no. When I smoke Orlik Golden Sliced, I don't usually get such a distinct citrusy flavour. This particular blend seems to give me more citrus, and it seems to be a bit smoother. Orlik Golden Sliced can be a little bit sort of peppery. You know, if you smoke it a little bit too much, it can be quite spicy, can bite, but this is really actually quite palatable. But the thing is that Orlik Golden Sliced is listed as a vapor, and Mike says that this is listed as a straight Virginia. Ennerdale? No way. Well, Bremen Pipe Smoker wouldn't have a problem getting HU tobacco because it's a German blend, which is where he is. The HU tobacco that I've received via Estivals from Hector, and the ones that I bought myself have been from Germany. Oh, right. Hector, sorry. I take you for your word, Hector. No, not Golden Virginia. The moisture content, sorry North Country, I think you did ask that before. When it came straight out of the vacuum pack thing, it was quite moist. It still is quite moist. But I wouldn't call it Garth Hogarth moist. And I don't think it's Amphora Virginia, because that's not available here in the UK. Mike, in case you didn't know that, it's not available here. You can only get it from America or from Europe. You can't get Wessex Golden Virginia here. And we've already been through Pure Virginia, and Mike says it's not HH Pure Virginia. Erin Moore is available here. I just don't think it's Erin Moore. I don't think Erin Moore is listed as a straight Virginia, is it? Erin Moore Flake is listed as a Burley Virginia. I haven't smoked Peterson University or Irish Flake this year, I don't think. I do have some Irish Flake, but I don't think I've smoked it this year. I haven't smoked Capstan Gold Flake this year. Scottish Gaucho, how are you doing? You're actually absolutely right. Orlick Golden Slice is not available here anymore. It used to be, but it's not available here in the UK anymore. McBaron Virginia Flake, I don't think I've smoked this year. Absolutely, Mike, you're quite right. It is very, very nice. That's one thing which I can certainly say. It is a very, very nice Virginia flake. Well, that makes sense, Daniel, but it's got to be a straight Virginia. That's what it's listed as. So as a bare minimum, any suggestion has to be a tobacco that's listed as a straight Virginia. Very good mix, but that would put the kibosh on it for everybody else, wouldn't it? Solani Virginia Flake. Well, I've smoked the Solani Silver Flake, which I haven't liked, to be honest. Oh, very funny Hector. Thing is, Mike, it tastes good now, so who knows what cellaring will do to it. No, he's not going to put me out of my misery, and that wouldn't be fair to all the other people. Has anybody else put up a video yet, Mike? Yeah, Tim, I think that's a good shout. I was thinking that actually. Best Brown Flake is a good shout, because I have smoked it and I didn't actually like it, and it was very generic to me, in very middle of the road, in very linear flavour. I didn't get much out of it, but it's very possible that it's just my particular version of it. It won't be Peter Heinrichs because it's not available here in the UK. Mike, if you are prepared to email it, then email me the result. I won't tell anybody, so then I can go and buy some of the stuff at least. Once you do the result, there'll be a run on it and I won't be able to get any. If it is Best Brown, I do have a couple of tins in my cellar of varying ages. I think I've got some from 2014 and some from, I don't know, maybe 17, 18, not sure. Well, I have to say that I preferred it in the briar, for sure. I'm not sure what ODP's preferred flavour profile is. I haven't managed to work it out. Paul the Piper, I think that's a good shout. I haven't smoked full Virginia Flake very often, so if Balkans, right? So if I have smoked it, it wasn't memorable, and I find the times that I've smoked it, at least the full Virginia Flake that I've got, I've always found it to be quite a nuanced and subtle smoke. Whereas this, that flavour, that fruity, excuse me. That flavour was just, it's so present, at least in that pipe. I'm just trying to think if I actually smoked Erinmore in that pipe before, and maybe that's why it was giving me that flavour. Really got me thinking, Mike, really got me thinking. I can't remember what I smoked in that pipe before. Well, I think I'm going to set this down. Trying to think what pipe I can smoke it in that will give me a good frame of reference, something that I wouldn't have smoked Erinmore in. Oh. I think it's very possible that I've smoked Erinmore in virtually all of my pipes, so it would be very hard. But I think this one I usually use for just straight Virginias, but it's possible that I've smoked Having more in it. Anything's possible. Well, I haven't got a corn cob, and I don't like corn cobs, so it wouldn't give me a good idea of the flavour. Oh no, it's not Erinmore, but what I'm saying is that it's possible that I smoked Erinmore in that pipe beforehand, and that's why I was getting that fruity flavour. It may have been a bit of a legacy, a bit of ghosting in there. Erinmore can ghost. Pipe number 3 here, Mike. I think that must be a bit of a record for one of your challenges. And this video I think is going to have to do for my video for your challenge. Hey Tree, he certainly does not like Ras Roulette. That he's been quite clear about, and for quite some time he didn't like me either. Probably still doesn't in reality, but we won't go there. That's for sure, Hector. Well, what I can say is that it's got a much more generic flavour in this pipe. So far not getting that fruity flavour. So back to the drawing board. Ooh, Mike, good man. Do you know what? I'm going to keep stum now, but I was going to say that now. Smoking it in this pipe, I was going to say that. You may not believe me, but that was coming to mind. It was on the tip of my tongue. I was about to sort of revisit that. Because in this pipe, it's completely different. And clearly there was some legacy flavour in that pipe. Hector, have you ever known me to lie? Except when I've said that I liked ODP, of course. Just kidding. Just stirring it. I'm bored now, Mike. You've killed it. Not you, but smoking it in this particular pipe. It's just not as nice as it was in that pipe, because I think I'm now getting a truer flavour. Interesting thing is that when I smoked it in the Meerschaum, I did get a little bit of that fruity flavour, that sort of, a juicy fruit, like a bubblegum kind of flavour. I was getting that in here, which I think was the legacy of the Erinmore. I don't think I've ever smoked Erinmore in this pipe, and I still got a little bit, but it did go away. I did say towards, the last part of when I was smoking this, I did say it kind of wasn't giving me much of that anymore, and I wasn't enjoying it as much in here. I think that previously, without giving too much away, I think the last time I smoked it, I probably said that I didn't enjoy it as much as I have in the past. But I don't recall what I said, to be honest. I can't describe it. If I describe it, then people will know what I'm talking about. Well, Daniel, I certainly preferred it the most in the Northern Briars Quebec, but I think it was because it had some fruity flavours in there. I must be honest, I think that, hi Luke, thanks for joining. I think that over the past year, I should really do a video of sort of my 2019 favourite smokes, but Erinmore Flake, not the mixture, has really hit a very good spot for me. I have enjoyed lots of other tobaccos, such as Dock Worker and stuff like that, which is a really intriguing tobacco. It's got some really different layers of flavour. But the Erinmore, for me, it just hits the right spot so well, because it's a good Virginia flake, but with a little bit of a sweetness. I've got quite a sweet tooth, and that sweet flavour, that to me sort of pineapple-y kind of, sort of a bright acidic kind of tanginess, just works for me. And I think that if I had the choice of being stuck on an island, and I was given the choice of just one or two tobaccos, I think that would be one of them. I think Erinmore would be one of them, Erinmore Flake. When I've gone back to the mixture, it seems to me that the mixture has a little bit of a burley-ish kind of flavour in there. I don't know if it's got burley, but it certainly feels that way. And the Erinmore Flake does have burley, but it doesn't taste like a burley forward blend. So when I look at Erinmore mixture, it's Black Cavendish Burley Virginia on tobaccoreviews.com. See, people argue about whether it tastes like pineapple or not, but it's listed, the flavourings, it says fruit/citrus pineapple. Now if I search on Erinmore Flake, it says Burley Virginia, no Cavendish, and it lists it as floral essences, fruit and citrus. That's a good idea, Daniel. I'm trying to think now if there's a flake which I haven't, well, a tobacco that I've smoked before, not liked it, and now like it. That would certainly be the case for a lot of Latakia blends, because when I first tried Latakias I hated it. But that was going back a few years now. So I think it would be Erinmore Flake. I think it would also be London Fog. I find London Fog works for me as well as a very good neutral smoke. And sometimes when I just don't know what I want to smoke, I'll just smoke a bowl of that and really enjoy it. But I've got to say, Mike, smoking it in this pipe, it tastes like it should taste. Hence, I'm not enjoying it as much as when I smoked it out of that pipe. So on Latakia blends, Daniel, certainly Northwoods would be probably my number one on Latakias. I'm trying to remember if I've actually ever smoked clan. One of my teachers, when I was a kid, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, used to smoke clan in the classroom. Actually smelled really good if I remember correctly. Curzon mixture, I think, is Royal Yacht. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure. No Shop is about to get bought out, and I have plenty of it. I'm not going to say any more than that, but I have plenty of it in my cellar. When I say plenty, I've probably got about 5 or 6 tins of it. 4 or 5 tins maybe. Northwoods versus Penzance. Well, if it was a desert island question, then I'd probably go with Northwoods. Penzance is a fantastic smoke, but it's not a tobacco that I'd want to smoke every day, all the time. And to be honest, Northwoods is also quite a rich smoke. I would enjoy a bowl of that a day quite happily. But probably it's Latakia generally. I enjoy a bowl of Latakia, especially in the morning with a coffee. But the rest of the day, I enjoy London Fog, Erin Moore, and various other Virginia-based tobaccos. Well, this particular tobacco, Mike, when I first was trying out Virginias, I did like it. I got bitten by it, as I did with any Virginia before I went to 9mm, but I did like it. I liked its smoothness. I found it to be smoother than other I had tried. I almost said something which might have given a hint, but the deeper version, and you'll understand what I'm saying, of that tobacco. So I preferred this particular one that I'm smoking now, and because it was smoother. Northwoods has no Orientals, are you sure about that, Hector? Black Cavendish, Latakia, Virginia. I mean, the interesting thing is that tobaccoreviews.com, they will list it as it's listed by the makers, but I'm pretty sure that there's some aromatics in there as well in Northwoods. That Black Cavendish must be carrying something, maybe a bit of vanilla. Yeah, I think English has become quite a generic term. Paul the Piper, I will try that if I remember to. The price on that Stanwell mix is in pounds, I'm afraid. Monte Cristo number 5. I possibly have, not recently, so I don't recall. But it's the same vitola as or very similar vitola to the number 4. I'm not sure if the blend is different. Otherwise, I'm not sure what the purpose of it is compared to the 4. There may be like a few millimeters difference in the length, and that's about it. I think it's still the same ring gauge. But when I first started smoking cigars in earnest, I really didn't like Romeo and Juliet Cuban cigars, but I've really started to get into them now. I would still say that the H. Upmann Connoisseur number 1 is my probably my still preferred Cuban cigar. Cigar and Snuff, I've been many times. Cigar and Snuff in Covent Gardens is where I bought my first pipe. Well, Mike, one thing I've learnt today is that when smoking that blend, I need to smoke it after smoking Erinmore in a pipe. Actually, I should blend the two and see what happens. There's an idea. I think that's an excellent idea. Mike, certainly given me food for thought. I'm going to mix a bit of that together, some Erinmore flake and this mystery blend, and see what the result is. Diplomaticos is a very underrated cigar in my opinion. And no, H. Upmann are not the same people that make HU tobaccos. Good night, Tim. Thanks very much. Happy New Year. I'm not sure if it's actually going to take away from the beauty of Erinmore. But at least my taste buds are working, because when I smoked it first in the Northern Briars, I was definitely getting that hint of Erinmore. If you remember, I did say that it's not quite as rich in the aromatics as Erinmore, but there's a hint of it, and that's probably why there was probably some kind of legacy flavour in there. But it was very nice. So I might just give that a try. In fact, I might mix some up and leave it overnight, smoke it tomorrow. Where is my jar? Must be careful not to show the jar. Interesting thing is that if I would have smoked it in the Parker, in this pipe, straight away, I wonder if I would have guessed it right. I'm not sure that I would have, because I haven't smoked this blend a lot recently. And I'm not convinced that I would have got it, to be honest, if I'm really honest. Cohibas versus Monte Cristo. You know what? When it comes to these kind of things, and the same applies to pipe tobacco, anything that you like, some days one will be nicer than the other, and it will just work better than the other. So some days a Monte Cristo is going to really hit the spot, and some days a Cohiba will really hit the spot. The truth of the matter is, a good Cohiba really will hit the spot anytime. But it's quite rich. You don't always want such a full-flavoured cigar. Monte Cristo actually is really full as well once you get into the cigar. I've said this many times that if I could get some Cohiba Robustos, I definitely would. I just find them too expensive. I did see some on special offer at the moment online, so I might get some. We'll see. I'm not sure. Got other things that I need to spend the money on, to be honest. Hey Smurf. I haven't smoked Monte Cristos for quite some time. I did smoke one just when I was away just now. I bought one from the pipe shop in Southbourne. I think I've already smoked it. I bought one Monte Cristo and I think I smoked it when I was there. So I took this along with me. This is the Herfordor that I got from... Oh, it's still here. I haven't smoked it. So that's the only Monte Cristo that I've got at the moment. I've got an 80th anniversary one, but that's a special cigar. I haven't smoked that. Oh, I tell a lie. We've got a Dante's here as well. It's a 2016 limited edition. But I didn't smoke that either. I smoked Connoisseur number 1. I think that's all I smoked there. Hi Glenn, Imperato. I haven't smoked a Hamlet cigar for probably about 25 years. And a Castello, I'm not sure if I've ever smoked, so I can't answer that. The way I hydrated a tobacco, Glenn, was very basic. I just had a bit of paper towel. I laid out the tobacco, spread it out as thin as I could, and I took another sheet of paper towel, which I very lightly dampened it, and set it on top of the tobacco. I left it there for about half an hour, took it away, and it was rehydrated very well. There's lots of official ways of doing it. You can put it in a jar with a humidifying stone. Some people say Boveda. I've never had success with a Boveda pack to try and rehydrate tobacco. It just didn't work. Daniel, there are tobaccos with cigar leaf. I've personally never taken to them. Dominican Glory by Castello by McClelland is one such example. So that's got cigar leaf in it. There is a cigar blend from LJ Peretti's. Didn't think much of that either, to be honest. But there are plenty of blends which have cigar leaf in them. If you really want to get a cigar flavour from a pipe tobacco, don't go too crazy about it, because none of them really taste of cigars. What you can do is, when you're finishing a cigar and you're getting right to the nub, is just pop the nub straight into your pipe and smoke it, and that's going to be the best way that you're going to get a cigar flavour in your pipe, if I'm really honest. Yeah, I've tried the 123 mixture as well, but I can't say that I really got a cigar flavour from it. Now you know why the Meerschaum doesn't come out that often. I'm still none the wiser on what to do with this pipe. Nice grain on it, a few little spots here and there. Originally I was going to rusticate the bowl and leave the shank smooth. No, I'm not sure. I was going to leave the rim and the shank smooth, rusticate that, possibly black or possibly brown, and maybe just sand the rustication a little bit to let some of that grain pop through. But now I'm not sure. We shall have to see. Daniel, probably Mike's a better person to ask, but in my experience, you are more likely to get a gurgle on a bent pipe, but that's the nature of it because of the gravity of it all, and you've got because you've got that shape there, so you've got gravity that way and gravity that way, so depending on how well your pipe is drilled, you may well have a little bit of a reservoir of moisture there, which may, as you breathe through it, as you draw through it, the air will agitate any moisture that's there, and that's what your gurgle is. It really depends on the pipe, but I must be honest that I don't get any gurgle in this pipe. I don't get any gurgle in my pipe at all. I don't get a gurgle in my Boswell bent pipe. I've been pretty lucky. I don't recall getting gurgle actually for a long time, and that may well be because of the 9mm taking out some of that moisture. It does happen sometimes even with the 9mm. The only way to get rid of moisture, Daniel, is to put a pipe cleaner down the stem. Hopefully your pipe cleaner will go down, even though it's a bent pipe, which can often be quite difficult. Sometimes a lot of pipes are drilled not the best, and you can't always it won't pass a cleaner. That's one of the surefire ways of testing the quality of the mechanics of a pipe before you buy a pipe is to do the pipe cleaner test and see if it passes a pipe cleaner. If you get a bent pipe which passes a pipe cleaner, you've got a fairly good chance of getting a reasonable smoke out of it. If it doesn't, then that means there's some interference. There isn't a smooth path for that pipe cleaner. I remember I bought a yes, you can do that when it's hot. You put it straight down the pipe. I'll show you. So in order to help it go down a bent pipe, what you can do is just like you would do with ribbon, is just do that and give it a little bit of a curl. That will help it, I find. And then you just feed it down. See, because this is a filter, it stops right there. But even that helps. If you have a filtered pipe which is gurgling, it will help to take some of the moisture out. But if you feed that down, now this is probably not going to go because the mortise is different to a standard pipe, but it's virtually there. But you can purge it, as Tree says, which means to blow through. But what you can also do is what I've done in the past, is if you grip the pipe like that and give it quite a vigorous sort of shake from up to down like that. And what that will do is the gravity will force the moisture back down into the bottom of the pipe. Then you could blow through, and then hopefully some of that steam will go back up. But doing that definitely helps to bring the moisture back down into the bottom of the bowl. Pull the pipe out. That doesn't surprise me at all. If your Peterson doesn't pass a filter, a pipe cleaner, does not surprise me at all, I'm afraid. Yeah, Daniel, P-lips are also a little bit more difficult with a pipe cleaner because of the angle of the hole. I'm not a fan of P-lips myself. I'm not a fan of Peterson's full stop, but I only have the fishtail ones, but the P-lip, I tried it once and never bought one again. But I think that, Daniel, if you smoke it, it will possibly, improve, because once you start to build up a bit of a cake, you will get a little bit of a coating on the inside of the draft hole as well. It might help. It might help to smooth out any ridges that are in there, but that will take some time. And the truth of the matter is, it shouldn't need to do that. Obviously, you're supposed to clean out the stem and the draft hole so so you shouldn't have that build up. Petersons are not a crappy pipe. It shouldn't be. Some people absolutely love Peterson pipes, especially in America. There are a lot of fans around the world. And if you try to get some of the Peterson shapes, if you contact the Peterson shop in Ireland, there's waiting lists. They've got long waiting lists for some of the spigots, the silver spigots, and of course the gold spigots. The gold spigots, they've got a waiting list as long as your arm. I don't think they have any in the shop even in Ireland. They say that they're going to improve, or that they are improving, since they've been taken over by Smoking Pipes, or Ledouzi, I can't remember the name. That's taken it over. So they say that they are improving. Whether that is the case or not, I don't know. I've never had a Peterson pipe that doesn't gurgle. There's nothing I can turn up, even if it was at my end, Glenn. I'm just speaking into my phone, and the microphone is no microphone. I can't turn it up as such. Lodizi, the Daisy. No worries, Glenn. So there you go. That's just been my personal experience with Peterson. Well, we've been going for about 2.5 hours. Gooch Grabber 007. What's the good word from across the pond? It's arrivederci. We're just about to wind things down now. It's 2:36 a.m. Definitely, Paul, you should have bought one of mine. I agree with you. But I'm sure there'll be more available before long. I do have some available now. I do have to... I've been a bit sort of time-wise. Instead of making a pipe, I should set up some kind of eBay shop or Etsy page or something like that. But I enjoy making the pipes far too much. So I tend to just end up making more pipes. Any old how, I'm going to say goodbye. I used the Peterson for the slow smoke because I had to use a Peterson for the slow smoke because it was a Peterson competition. So that pipe I still have. It actually smoked very well. It served me well. I managed to do some, I think it was near enough 50 minutes, 48 minutes, something like that. in my first ever slow smoke, which was pretty. I was happy with that. So there we go. Anyway, so I'm going to say thank you everybody. Thanks Paul the Piper, thanks Hector, thanks Daniel, thanks Smurf, Boca, Du Boynton, Gooch Grabber, 007, Smurfinetti, Daniel, I think I've said that already, Glenn, North Country Fisher, Pipe Tree, Paul the Piper, Imperator Nero, Matthew Streeter, Mike at Briar Blues. I don't know who else is on at the moment. Robert Dawson, if you're still there. Joe Fish, Meeks, and Tim, who's gone. My feet are really cold. It's turned cold. Well, it's been miserable weather here all the time, but my feet have suddenly gone cold. I'm getting cold feet, people. Alright, good night everybody, thanks very much for joining. Eric, you're still there, how you doing? You hadn't said anything, so you've been lurking all night, so I didn't know you were still there, but thank you very much anyway. And Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, thanks very much everybody for joining. No doubt I will see you very soon. Maybe I'll do a live on New Year's, and that pipe will be featuring in a giveaway coming to you very soon. Well, your pipe room, Eric, must be growing from that cupboard on the left hand side of the screen that we usually see, that white shelving unit. I guess that's expanding now with all your acquisitions and the old pipes that you've been putting together. So a couple of first impressions are going to be coming up soon. I still have to do the Haddo's Delight, which I got from Andrew Sirigliano, 2012, don't you know? And this Sutliff Virginia Slices 507C. I don't know if any of you guys have tried this or not, but it's it looks like a good tobacco. We shall see. So I've got to do a first impressions on that. And that's about it. So I wish you all a wonderful rest of your holidays. Still a few days to go till New Year's, so we'll be trying to take it easy a little bit over the next few days and make a few pipes, of course. And yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks very much everybody. I will catch you on the next one.